Hi everybody, welcome to another Chats with Children. I hope you're safe and well. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Richard Cuthbert, who is the product manager for the ZE5 Cell Analyser, and he is from Bio-Rad. And the reason we're talking today is because Bio-Rad are going to be at SLAS next week, which is running from February the 5th to the 9th, and we thought we'd do a quick preview of what Bio-Rad are going to be showcasing at the event, and they've actually got a talk as well, so talk about that as well. So Richard, first of all, it's lovely to see you, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks. Yeah, great to see you as well.
Yeah, well, last time I saw you was in sunny Manchester for the LRIG Flow Cytometry and Imaging event. How did that go?
It went really well, thanks. Yeah. We it was a really good meeting actually. We did a lot of networking and talked to some really interesting people. There's some really great talks as well.
Fantastic. Now, I know we're going to talk about SLAS, which is next week, but before we start talking about SLAS or SLAS, I'll say, just make it a bit easier. Can you give viewers a quick overview of Bio-Rad and in particular the business unit you work for?
Yeah, sure. So Bio-Rad's been around for a long time. It's really a staple in the scientific community. I think most scientists at least have got a Bio-Rad instrument tucked away somewhere, even if it's just a gel dock or a electrophoresis plate, something like that. So I don't think they need a lot of introduction from me. My business unit is just the flow cytometry and antibody side of the business. So we make a lot of antibodies at Bio-Rad. We've also got a lot of flow cytometry products as well.
Right, brilliant. Now, let's talk about SLAS then, which is running, as I said, from next week. What products are Bio-Rad showcasing at the event?
So at SLAS, we'll mainly be talking about as my business unit would suggest, we're going to be talking about flow cytometry, instruments and antibodies. But also we're going to be talking about data analysis and how you cope with having lots of data. Because one of the great things about the ZE5 is that it's really fast. But the upshot of that is that the consequence, should I say, is that it generates a lot of data, and then you've got to work out what you're going to do with that data. Sure. So this is what it's really about.
Right. Okay. So let's talk specifically about the products you've actually got then that you're going to be showcasing. You said you got the flow cytometry and you've got the antibodies. So can you talk a bit more about the different solutions you've actually got showcased next week?
Yeah, sure. So it's in terms of the offering from Bio-Rad, we're really going to be talking about three things. Right. So firstly, we're going to be talking about the reagents, and we've got some really innovative and new flow cytometry dyes that we've been releasing. Well, we started releasing them last year. We're continuing to release them over this year and right. next year as well. And they're really, kind of innovative. They've got some, great properties. We're also going to be talking about the instrumentation. So we're going to be talking about the ZE5 and what it can do for in terms of its speed and its suitability for applications like screening and high throughput flow. And then finally, we're going to be joined by the guys at Applied Cytometry Systems, and they're going to be talking about their data management systems and how you can cope with that massive amount of data that we produce. Oh, and not to forget, we're also going to be talking about how you automate these flow cytometry systems to really get the most out of them.
Fantastic. So you talked a little bit about workflow just then. So for the people who are attending SLAS, which is obviously a majority of drug discovery space, what workflows and applications can your solutions really help them with?
Yeah, so this talk that we're going to be doing at SLAS is really focused around screening and high throughput applications. So what you need for screening is an instrument that can run very fast, but you also need good reagents. You need high quality reagents. You need an instrument that you can automate, and you need to be able to do something with that data afterwards. So we're kind of covering the entire workflow of screening and high throughput flow.
Right. Okay. Now, an obvious question is that when I talk to a lot of instrument makers and so on, they'll always talk about their products being fantastic and so on. And I'm sure Bio-Rads are fantastic, of course. So, but what makes, you know, your ZE5 Cell Analyzer, for example, and your new reagents unique?
Yeah, so well, let's first talk about the analyzer. There are a lot of flow cytometers out there for sure. Probably the biggest difference with ours is that it's really built for screening. Right. So it's much faster than the vast majority of other instruments that are out there. In fact, you know, I would say that, you know, it's probably the fastest instrument that's available for some of these screening applications. Right. So that's the key thing about the instrument. Also, it provides much more flexibility compared to some of other instruments that are kind of aimed at the screening type, you know, side of applications. Right. So it's got more detectors, it's got more lasers, so it really allows you to do more and get more out of your research. Right. In terms of the antibodies, like I said, they've got some really great properties that make them ideal for these type of applications. So they're very bright, but also they're really stable. They've got narrow excitation and emission profiles, and that means that you're going to have to do less compensation. Right. But in general, all those things rolled into one means that you're going to get more data. It's going to be better quality data, and it's going to be more reliable data. Right. Okay. Now you mentioned the talk, and obviously it's about data itself. So can you talk a bit more about the talk then? When is it? Who's in it? And you know, expand a bit more about the topic itself. Yeah, sure. So, well, the name of the talk is Handling Large Data Sets, and I'm reading this from a screen, as you can see, generated by Flow Cytometry in an automated environment. So a nice robust title there we've got. But yeah, we've kind of already spoken about what we're going to be talking about. In terms of the speakers, obviously it's going to be me. But I'm also going to be joined by my colleague Veronica DeCamps, who's going to be talking about the automated side of things, how you automate these instruments, and also by Tony Burpee over at Applied Cytometry Systems, as well as Peter Nobes. Fantastic. And when it actually is the talk? It's on the 8th of February, so it's at 8:30 local time. That's local time in Boston. Right, yeah, just in case people are wondering what local time means for them. Yeah, you're right, spot on. Yeah, it is in Boston this year, isn't it? Hopefully the snow will have melted a little bit and the blizzard won't be so bad if you're actually there in person. Yeah, absolutely. It's been quite severe, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks there? It certainly has. So I also know though that you guys actually aren't going to physically be in SLAS next week. You're actually have a virtual booth. So how can people interact with you virtually at the show? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a real shame actually that we weren't able to join in person. I think, you know, COVID's still wreaking havoc in terms of everybody's travel plans. Sure. But yeah, you can come along. You can join the virtual event. You can see the booth virtually. We've got a virtual booth. You can chat to a specialist on that virtual booth. So you know, we can still chat. You know, it's not just a message board or something like that. There will be someone actually physically in attendance, and also Casey Rogers is going to be there as well. So if someone's watching this and they are actually going to manage to attend in person, find Casey and have a chat with her. She's really nice. I'm sure she'd love to talk to you. Brilliant. And now if people can't make it though to SLAS this week or next week, I should say, how else can they get more information about Bio-Rad and where else can they meet you? Yeah, so there's lots of ways that you can get information from Bio-Rad. Obviously, you can visit our website, sign on for our mailing list. Like I say, we're going to be releasing those Starbright dice throughout the year. So if you want to be the first to know when new products come out, then you can sign up for that mailing list, and then you'll be one of the first. We're going to be at Cyto in June for sure. So yeah, please come and see us there. You can also get in contact with your local specialist, of course, or your local account manager. Ask to speak to a specialist. You can come and ask for me by name. My name's Richard Cuthbert. You know, if someone wants to speak to me directly, then that's great.
Fine. And I should add also, obviously, this is going to be on LinkedIn, and you can get in touch with Richard via LinkedIn as well. So there is that as well. So Richard, that's brilliant. I know it's frustrating not being there in person. You know, I know that from personal experience doing the shows, I'd rather be there in person, but you have got a booth, and SLAS do a really good job putting on the virtual event as well. I know that. So hopefully you'll have a fantastic show, and the talk goes well for you next week with your colleagues, and you get lots of people attending. So there you go, viewers. If you're at SLAS next week and you'd like to know more about Bio-Rad solutions that can help you, then please, check out their virtual booth. It is interactive, as Richard said, so it's not just a static booth. There will be people there. You can engage with them. And also make sure you attend the talk, which they've got next Tuesday on the 8th at 8:30. I think you said, did you?
8:30 local time. It lasts till 10, so there's quite a lot of material for us to talk about.
I think fantastic, and I do think that will be available on demand as well if you do miss it, if you're not there in person at that time.
Absolutely.
So, and that's the one great thing about virtual events. At least you can capture the talks, so you can go back and see them if you miss it. So there's that as well. So make sure you check that out. So Richard, all this one says, have a fantastic event, mate, and have a fantastic 2022, and look forward to hopefully catching up with you in person.
Likewise.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you, viewers, for watching. I hope you found that interesting. As I said, if you're at SLAS next week, make sure you check out the Bio-Rad booth. And until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.